Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Edwin Sifuna, the Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM party, is stranded in Luanda, Angola, after receiving an invitation to attend some event there. He's been blocked at the airport alongside other delegates. I want us to look at this incident that is now hitting, that is now reaching newsrooms just this evening. And let's also try to put it in a context. Before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. I've shared with you the screenshot there. I've shown you the arrow where the subscription button is, and then the top left corner where you can click the notification, so that when we publish a video, you will not be able to miss, you will not miss any of our videos. And as a top subscriber and a key supporter of the channel, you are part and parcel of this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at this matter keenly, or I want us to look at this news keenly, because Edwin Sifuna shared this screenshot and is saying, Uniter President Adebato Costa invited us to Angola. The government has denied us entry. So who and who were invited for this? I'll just want us to get to understand what exactly happened, because I think Sifuna himself is actually putting it clear. They were there alongside Tundu, Lissu, and other leaders from actually from the continent. Okay, there's a delegation from Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and it's important to know who and who flew with Uganda. Tundu Lissu is sharing this. Angolan immigration, or rather, let's first share, before we look at Tundu Lissu, let's look at those who are part of Sifuna delegation. There is Sharif Niger from Uganda, Chimuhiang Tuho Kwena, Edwin Walenya Sifuna from Kenya, actually even Kiho Ofuo is also from Kenya, Redan Bobi Wine from Uganda, Adrian Morasin, Uganda, and Tanzania, and yes, and Ethiopia. So Tundu Lissu have shared what exactly happened there. I just want us to look at those who and who was actually there with Sifuna. Tundu Lissu have shared a comprehensive statement saying, Angolan immigration authorities are holding up and denying entry into Angola for me and a delegation of more than 20 senior leaders and representatives of political parties from across Southern Africa who arrived in Luanda earlier today for a planned 2-day meeting. This is the meeting that Sifuna was attending. The group includes, I want you to look at the caliber of those who are with Sifuna. It's interesting to know, to see who and who was with Sifuna. The group includes a sitting first vice president from Tanzania, a former president of Botswana, a former prime minister of Lesotho, and a host of senior political leaders and delegates from Kenya, Sudan, Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Eswatini, Lesotho, Germany, USA, Uganda, DRC Congo, and Mozambique. Angolans and Tanzanians are brotherly people. Tanzania hosted Dr. Antonio Agostino Neto and his MPO fighters in the early years of their independence struggle. We supported Angola through thick and thin during the apartheid South African regime's occupation of southern Angola in 1970s and 80s. This shabby treatment of nationals of brotherly African nations by the Angolan immigration authorities is totally unacceptable and should be condemned in the strongest terms possible. So if you look at the delegation that was flying with Edwin Sifuna in Angola, there is no denial that Sifuna was picked from Kenya. from a very powerful point of view, because if it was just merely picking for opposition leaders, then I think someone would have picked Raila Odinga, because Raila Odinga is the leader of the opposition, even though I think with the broad-based agreement, the former prime minister is no longer, in fact, the former prime minister is no longer an opposition leader. Yeah, because immediately after every election, he will reconnect and get into government, either through the door or through the window. And he will unapologetically tell you that to Sipapata, we will get through the door or through the window. So Sifuna was actually expected there with the mighty. He got the clearance, the necessary clearance from the Parliamentary Service Commission. I've seen just a response from the reaction from the statement he has given. And the immigration authorities back in the country had given a nod to it. There are no questions about that. Probably the event they were attending was the event of an opposition party in Angola. But Angola, I think the administration there is talking of infiltration or other interference, and now they're blocking the delegation from entering to the country. I see is this Sifuna is not in the good books with the Kenya Kwanza administration. And let me tell you, the move to bar and to stop, there are several others that have been accepted, but the move to stop them is actually having individual take. Did the Kenyan authorities plan to stop Sifuna entry from Angola? I know even the same Tundu Lissu is also not been in a good relationship with the current president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu. So, of course, the fact that Sifuna got that invitation is a very clear point. It's a very clear signal of what he actually, the profile that he has in this country. But someone would also argue that because he's the Secretary General of the biggest opposition party, the then opposition party, ODM party. Now, there is a clear claim, some claim that Nairobi have some influence on the decision to stop Sifuna from getting there. So let's just brush through it. Number one, Sifuna is coming under scrutiny in ODM party, and I did tell you that Ledama Olekina was supposed to be picked as the Secretary General of the party to replace the Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna. And during the signing, since the signing of that document in KICC, of course, Sifuna has not been within the ODM circles, even though he said he was making his commitment or doing his role, playing his role as the Secretary General of the party, and that is his constitutional duty. Even though he might not agree with it, but it was his constitutional duty to, of course, to do the signing. So did Nairobi have a bearing? I think one of the factors that will actually impact the trouble Sifuna is going through is his profile and, of course, the move to change him, to drop him as the Secretary General of the ODM party. Number two, within the ODM rank and file, are they comfortable for Sifuna to represent the party as the opposition party? Opinions are divided as to whether ODM is in government or is in opposition. If you ask that question, just casually ask anyone that question, the answer is very predictable, that ODM party is actually in government. So what is the expectation of what Sifuna is going to say? The kind of maybe information is going to give out there. Of course, you don't expect him to go and pitch for the broad-based administration. You would expect him to hold on the opposition bench, the opposition standpoint. And some people might feel uncomfortable with Sifuna's standpoint. And of course, sometimes you may want to judge him based on many factors, but you need to remember that he represents a cosmopolitan area, the Nairobi area, where things are not just that easy. The other issue is, why would Sifuna undergo that, such humiliation in Angola, at the time we are having the broad-based administration? So both sides are part of the government. They are their side in government. So the Secretary General of the party ordinarily is not supposed to undergo such a humiliation. And someone would feel that this is part of just a strategy to humiliate him. But I want to look at the giant in all this. They've been invited with an opposition party in Angola. And if you look at the caliber of those who have been invited, Tundu Lissu is an opposition leader, was a presidential candidate there. Bobi Wine is one of the greatest competitors of Museveni in Uganda. And you look at in Kenya here, amongst the youthful politicians, the one who is lethal and coming out courageously to take on the current status quo is none other than Sifuna. Do some people think that there are some powerful forces behind the youthful forces emerging in the continent? And I want to believe this could still be. Remember, both in Uganda, there is an election pending. In Tanzania, there is an election, I think, later this year. In Kenya, this year there will be an election in Uganda, in Tanzania, if I'm not wrong. The next year, there will be an election in Uganda. Then the other year, there will be an election in Kenya. So someone is a bit threatened by the emerging profile, or rather boosting the profile of Edwin Sifuna. And I believe that Nairobi will clearly intervene, because they arrived there and immigration officers declined to clear them. The government of Angola declined to clear them so that they could attend the 2 days ceremony. I want to believe this had both the clearance of his party, ODM, and the clearance of Parliamentary Service Commission, where he actually serves as a senator, and that is also managing the affairs of the Senate. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is just this. That is just this. What is in the pipeline? It is interesting to see how this will come out. Let me just read a couple of reactions from this. I've seen. See someone saying, "Can the bread-based government push this through?" Someone is asking. I want someone with, of course, comprehensive statement. Okay. Call out your party leader to sort out this small matter. Did you get clearance from the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Kingi? The questions that was actually taken care of. He got that clearance. Now, you complained bitterly all over that Dr. Ruto was flying out instead of sitting in State House. Please bring back your staff in the Senate. Okay, someone is saying, okay. Amongst the politicians that actually invited there was from Uganda, from Sudan. Ezin Sifuna Sirino Hiteno Fuo, South Sudanese politician and academic, ex-minister of culture, youth, sports, deputy foreign minister, 2016 key figure, not Kenyan, as alluded in the invite letter. Yes, he's not a Kenyan. Of course, someone is saying there's only one Kenyan. So he was the only Kenyan. Sifuna was the only Kenyan invited for that session to attend in Angola. Let me look for another one. There was a comment I saw here. Someone raised some pertinent question about it. There's a question of Raila to sort out the mess. Did you get clearance from Raila? I want to believe if he's in his position as the SG of the party, I don't think that. Okay. You are a fraud and clown at you won't allow broad-based panya wewe. Resigning is where you draw the line. What do you expect? Mbia watu. Okay. So, call your party leader. That has been said. So thank you. I've seen quite a number of reactions are just people throwing insults there. But that is why Sifuna is stranded in Angola. Thank you.